Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of LLG's Random But Real, where we have conversations about any and all things random with a side, or actually with an entree, not a side dish, of mental health advocacy. I use my performance, communication, and literary art skills to bring awareness about mental health and other topics. Therefore, whether I'm singing, speaking, or writing, it is my desire that my words will be melodic just like music to your ears. You all, we are starting the latest edition, or I should say, season of LLG's Random But Real. And I am excited because this year I don't have to do it all by myself. This year I get to have my friend Erica Wingate as a guest host. Say hello to everybody, Erica.
Hey everybody.
And so, this has been, I guess, Erica was a guest on my on LLG's Random But Real. I guess was last year, maybe even the year before last, and so we talk often. We have very interesting conversations, and she's also school counselor. Y'all know I did mental health or community counseling, so a lot of times we end up using that information even when we're just talking about each other's lives. And so she's been a blessing to me, and so I asked her like to think about it and pray about it and just see, because I really don't like talking to a screen with no one else's interaction. I really appreciate being able to talk to someone live. And so that is what we are actually going to do today. And so I just wanted to introduce you to Erica. We met through her husband David, who went to Union with me, and because of his invitation to either one of her birthday parties or a cookout they had, I still don't even really remember how we became so close, but we did. And so she has definitely been a blessing in my life. And so I just want to give you an opportunity, Erica, to share what you would like to share before we actually get started.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Again, I'm super excited to walk this road with you, friend. And yes, just to reiterate, it was one of my birthday parties.
Okay.
So David's birthday is in December, mine is in July. And
Mhm.
over the years that we've been together, he helps, organize a lot of birthday parties for me. And I think because he has a December birthday party, he gets a little jealous and he invites like some of his friends. And so that particular year, yes, he had invited you and a few other people that, he knew from Union. And I did not know you. And it's
Nope.
not that I'm not open, but I was just like, who are these people he's inviting to my party?
Right.
But it's not in my nature to, not be welcoming. And more importantly, it wasn't in your nature either. So, I think we just kind of hit it off well at the party. And then
Mhm.
maybe you came to a cookout after that. And the fact that you were singing out in the community at the time, you would extend invitations my way. And I remember coming to
You
see you.
did. You did.
Yes. And so I think that's just kind of how our friendship flourished from there. And then our commonalities, right? Yes, the counselor background, and then I have children who sing, and you shared some information with me at one time for them and their walk. They were in high school and middle school at the time, I believe.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's just kind of how our connection began. But however it began, I for one am very thankful for it, and
Oh,
very thankful for you and the friendship and this opportunity to, kind of explore these topics with you more regularly.
absolutely. Well, I'm grateful, and so you all that have been following, liking, subscribing to LLG's Random But Real, um, you know that it literally is random but real. A lot of times I don't come with a specific topic. I usually do not edit the program, so whatever we say, we say. Um, whatever happens, happens, and sometimes that's mistakes, and sometimes that's technology doing what technology does. But it really is real, and so I'll tell y'all a little secret. Part of that started because I honestly did not have time to be learning how to do any editing software. And then the other part of it was I do, if you know me, I really am pretty real. Like I share how I feel in the moment, whether someone else agrees or doesn't. But I'm thoughtful. I think about it first. I don't just say whatever, even though sometimes I miss the mark because I'm human. It still is a process. And so I think that today it would be great to talk about, because mental health can affect every aspect of your life, the power of friendship. What do you think
Mhm.
about that, Erica?
I like it. I like it. I think I have some good stuff to add.
I'm sure you do. One of the things that I admire about you is the fact that you always tell me about your friends from college and how you all still, have a bond and look out for each other. And it's funny because I don't have that. I know people from college. I know people from high school. I know people from, elementary school and church and all these other places, music and, everything that I've done. But I don't have like one person who has stuck with me throughout the years, or a group of people, like maybe here and there when I'm doing things, but I so desire to have consistent friendship the same way I do want consistent relationship with one person. And so
Yeah.
I admire the fact that you all bond the way you do. Would you like to share a little bit or maybe even shout out your friends?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I went to Towson. It was Towson State University when I went there at the age of 18. And I began to meet these young ladies one by one in the fall semester. And then by the spring semester, we had kind of solidified, a couple of us had kind of solidified, with other freshmen as well. But this has been my group. We are 8 women. We call ourselves Core 8. Um, and I'm gonna throw this out there just to really hone in my point. We are not, any of us are not members of a sorority, and we are not bound by a sorority. But it's what you usually see in a sorority, right? You see people go online, and when they go online together, they bond, and then they are girls for life, right?
Mhm.
Typically, or men from a fraternity.
Right.
We are not that. Like, none of us pledged, and we have been together, as I said, since freshman year. I actually just on Facebook, had some friend anniversaries with 2 of them. And I had to point out that although Facebook said it was 12 or 13 years, because that's the Facebook life, it really has been 35 years. And with these ladies, I have, gosh, literally the best friends ever. I have second mothers, second fathers, and we've been through everything together, literally. We have been through marriages, divorces. We have a widow among us. We have lost, 2 of us have lost mothers, 2 of us have lost fathers.
Mm.
We have had children. We have not had children. We are
Mm.
married. We are divorced. I think I said that already. Like, we've just done everything together. We are godmothers to each other's children in some cases. And when I tell you that these women, I would not want to do without them in this life. And we have outside people who see us, who know us, people we went to college with, who have their own great relationships.
Mhm.
Those relationships are sometimes sororities and sometimes just friendships, just like ours. But people never fail to tell us how much they admire us and the bond we have created and the way they see us still together after all these years. We got very intentional. I'm 53 now. We got very intentional 13 years ago about being all 8 together for birthdays. So prior to that, it would be a couple of us, right? But we got very intentional in the 40th, the year of 40. And so we're at everybody's birthday. That's 8 birthdays throughout the year. We're very intent on what the plans are. Sometimes it's just a one day, couple of hours at a house or an activity, and sometimes it's a weekend away somewhere relatively close. But they are everything. Their friendship is everything. Their sisterhood is everything, and I'm just truly thankful for them.
Awesome. Did you want to mention that?
Sure, sure. So again, they are Core 8. And their names are, I'm gonna try to go alphabetically just so I won't miss anybody.
Okay.
Their names are Adrian, Angie, Bettina, although we call her Tina, Sherry, Erica, Elisa, Michelle, and Stacy. Was that 8? Adrian, Angie,
Wonderful.
Bettina, Sherry, Erica, Lisa, Stacy, Michelle. Yes, yes, I said all 8.
Awesome. Well, hi, ladies, and thank you for being such a great friend to my friend. Thank you for sharing her with me. Um, and one thing, Erica, you never ever made me feel like I didn't belong. Like I don't think I've ever met them. Maybe at
So
their
you've
house.
been around them. You've been
Yeah,
around them, but you
but
might not have known, oh, that's Angie, there's Lisa. But
right.
they whatever party you came to, they
They
were
were
also
there,
there.
right? And so, hopefully, we'll actually get an introduction next time.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
and so,
I'm
yeah,
excited of it.
but it's a blessing to have. I'm really big on consistency, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that being consistent in our relationships also
Mm-hmm.
helps our mental health. Just not having to wonder, is this person going to be there in my darkest time? Are they going to be there in my happiest time? Are they just going to
Mm-hmm.
be present? And so I appreciate that. I heard you say something. I also think it's really important is intentionality. Like you all are very intent. Like I know a lot of people, but I cannot say that their intentions have been to the same desire that mine were, because a lot of them had, other people in their life. A lot of them were married, or a lot of them did have children. A lot of them did have best friends. A lot of them did still have their parents, or their siblings to have to go to events, or nieces and nephews. And although I have one sibling who I love dearly, and I have a niece and a nephew, sister-in-law, my parents and grandparents are deceased. And if you listen to this podcast before, you've heard me talk about that. And so sometimes, they say family we're born into, friends are who we choose. And so
Mm-hmm.
I have had a lot of choices in my life, and I've also had a lot of decisions taken away from me, because in real or true friendship, I believe you find out who's really there for you in those, you know, not so happy times. I don't want people in
Yeah.
my life that are just going to be there in the good times. I want people that are going to be consistent and be there even when things are not what they would like. And it takes a lot to deal with someone like me who, has had mental health, issues and concerns, who something could happen and I might actually even contemplate, dying by suicide. It's happened. That's not what I want, but it's still been a thought. And so I am also grateful that you were support even recently when I was having a really bad time or a tough time. Um, and for you checking in. I also heard you talk about celebrations, and I think that celebrating each other's friendship, each other's lives, letting people know why they're alive, that I appreciate you and I'm spending time with you. I think that that's also super important. And then just sisterhood, everybody doesn't
Absolutely.
have a biological sister, but you all have created, like you said, bonds that surpass, the, I guess, the non-biological ties, what I'm saying, that you
Yeah.
have. Is there anything you want to share about any of those?
Well, let me just say thank you for all of that. I don't take friendship lightly. Like I have best friends from elementary,
Mm-hmm.
middle, and high school. Absolutely do not talk that often, but in my heart, in my mind, they are still my best friend because in those years that we became that to each other,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's who we were. And while time may have drifted us apart, in my heart, they're still my best friend from elementary school. They're still my best friend. My youngest daughter, she's number 3. I have 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest daughter is a senior at North Carolina A&T.
Yep.
And when we assisted her in moving in at the beginning of August for this school year, ironically, one of my high school besties lives in Greensboro, and her birthday had been that week before, and she was having a birthday gathering that weekend. So we kind of made a weekend out of it. My husband, my older son, and I went down and I hung out with my high school bestie at the activities that she had planned for that weekend, Friday night and Saturday. Again, we don't talk regularly,
Mm-hmm.
but she will always be a best friend to me.
Understood.
So these young ladies from college, though, I don't know. I think it has just everything to do with where we were in life upon meeting each other, spending those next 4 to 5 years, together on a campus setting, being roommates. So we obviously we weren't roommates when we met, any of us, but a couple of four of us became roommates, and the others were they.
Hmm.
Let me also add that one of the eight, she knew two of the eight in high school,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
And out of the two that she knew in high school, one of them was also at Towson with us, but the other one never went to Towson.
Oh.
But people who go to Towson don't know she didn't go to Towson because she was always with us,
Hmm.
that they just thought she went to Towson too.
Oh.
And ironically, one of the eight, she's the only one who's 2 years older than us.
Okay.
All the rest of us are the same age, born in the same year, but one of them is 2 years older than us. Ironically, she and I went to high school together,
Oh.
but we did not know each other. I sat in high school. I knew her brother.
Hmm.
Her younger brother was in my grade. I knew him from middle school and high school. I was familiar with her as a person, but it wasn't until she transferred into Towson and my roommate Dusty at the time had a class with her. We, met up and was like, oh, hey, yeah, we're from the same high school. We know all the same. I know your brother. And so she became ultimately a part of our group.
Right.
But I think it just has everything to do with us combining our lives at that, really that turning point in our lives as young women, discovering who we were, experiencing the things that we experienced during college. Anyone who's had that walk knows what I'm talking about. I don't have to describe it in detail because I think we all experience it. And it just carried over. It's like, even though we're not roommates, we don't live together anymore. You almost can't convince us that we're still not those
Oh,
17,
right.
18-year olds. And so we're just very intentional about being together and having a life together.
Well, that is awesome. For anybody you think that is struggling, because especially even being a school counselor, one of the topics that comes up a lot, well, when I used to work in the schools as a counselor, was a lot of the kids, especially elementary, middle school, and maybe even high school too. Shoot, sometimes in adulthood, making friends, finding good characteristics of friends and sticking by that instead of today you're my best friend, tomorrow you're not. What would you tell a parent of a younger child, or somebody that is younger, as far as like a good characteristic of a friend?
Um, a good characteristic of a friend, I think, is just authenticity.
Mm,
Like, you're going to be drawn to people for one reason or another, right? And when you discover just a genuine person, a person who's just genuinely nice or genuinely cares about you or what you have going on, that's going to continue to draw you to
mhm.
them. And then you just kind of build upon that. Um, I can close my eyes right now and vividly recall my first two elementary best friends. So we were a trio. We lived in the same apartment complex in Montgomery County, and we were probably in the same class. Maybe one of us was in a different class, but I feel like we were all in the same class. And I'll be very honest, it was hard to be a trio because sometimes one person always feels left
Right.
out, right? Sometimes two get together and one is, and I kind of always felt like that person. I felt like for some reason the two of them would talk more, spend more time together. But ultimately, I was able to overcome any of that just because of our authenticity as friends. Now, one of them, she ended up moving away sooner. And so then the other one and I, we maintained that friendship and we brought another person in and then another person in. And we carried that friendship, that group that we created in elementary school, we carried that to high school.
Okay.
And then that's when we kind of drifted separate ways. So ultimately, the elementary best friends that I refer
Mhm.
to, we did not make it through high school. In high school, I got new best friends. I got a new best friend group.
Mhm.
And that best friend group in high school, we did not survive through my college years of us, going different places, some to college, some not to college. Two of the high school friends were younger. So they were still in high school when I first went to college. So I say all that to say that when I got to college, I think that's just when the change came in looking to keep the longevity of the friendship, the authenticity that you found in someone. For us as freshmen, it wasn't something we wanted to let go of. So after the 4 years of college, we were intentional about keeping that relationship going because what we saw in each other, that authenticity. You know what they say about women, Lisa, that it's very hard for us to be authentic, and you can't have too many women without some catty problems and jealousies and this, that, and the other. You've heard that said,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. That doesn't exist among these 8 women and I. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. It just doesn't exist. We literally have supported and encouraged and uplifted each other from the moment we connected. And we're very intentional about that. We're very authentic. We do whatever we can for the other,
Mhm.
to see the other winning and growing and prospering and coming out of whatever down place we're in. I had one disagreement with the roommate bestie that I had from sophomore year to senior year. And it was, it was so silly. The three of them, it was four of us. The three of them had cars on campus. I did not. And I remember we had a terrible snowstorm at Towson. And after the snow stopped, everybody was going out to clean off their cars. In my head, they're each cleaning off their own car because they each have a car. So I hate the cold. Not now that I'm going through the change of life, but back then I hated the cold. So I didn't initially go out to help. I stayed in the apartment. We were in an on-campus apartment at the
Mhm.
time. And the one roommate bestie got very upset, rightfully so. Like, how do you ride around in our cars and you don't come out and help us? I don't understand that. And I had to look at it from her perspective. And I was like, you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. I was just thinking, who do I help? There's three of y'all with
Right.
cars. Which one do I help? And it's cold outside and I don't want to be out
Right.
there. We got past that. And I promise you, she had never had a disagreement really since then.
Well, I mean, I think it's good
I
that
mean,
y'all
it never,
talked about it. Like, I don't know who brought it up.
she
Okay.
did. Oh no, she called me out.
Yeah.
Okay. she she let me know she was not happy with the fact that I did not come out and help
Well, I
them.
think that that's real friendship when you're able to say whatever it is that you need to say. But a lot of people don't, I've learned, don't
Absolutely.
like to deal with conflict and don't, want to address things head on. They rather just stew in it or tell somebody else instead of actually talking to the person.
Right. And that's just not how we are as a group of friends. Now, I'll be very honest with you. I really don't like conflict. I am probably pretty passive. I can be passive aggressive,
Okay.
but I'm pretty passive. I don't like conflict. But what you just said is so true. There's nothing wrong with speaking your
Mhm.
truth. One thing my mother did for me as a young child, I was the only child until I was 9 years old. In my knowledge, I wasn't truly an only child. I had an older sister, but my parents had not, the adults in this situation had not yet brought us together. So until I was 9 years old, I thought I was an only child. When my youngest sister was born, I was also introduced to my older sister. She's 2 years older than me. Praise God, we have a great relationship to this day, the three of us. But the one thing my mother always instilled in me in those 9 years when it was just me, and I'm sitting, spending a lot of time, I guess, with adults and older cousins and whatever have you, that I can express myself. I can speak my mind. I can tell how I feel, even if it isn't liked or desired or agreed
Mhm.
upon, as long as I do it respectfully.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciated that lesson from my mother. I carried it into adulthood with my children. I tried to give them a voice. I'm not one of those parents that looks at it like children are to be seen and not heard. God made us all individually. God gave us all a voice. God gave us all feelings and opinions and thoughts. And just because I'm the parent, I don't have the right to stifle my child that they can't speak or think or be an individual, right? So yeah, it's that kind of mentality, I guess, that just really helped us to connect as women who could say what they felt and just be kind and honest about it. We don't have to be deceitful. We don't have to be snarky. We don't have to do any of that.
Yeah, that's definitely a blessing. And, I think it's awesome that it's been such a long time too, over 3 decades. That's amazing. But believe it or not, we have come to like the close of this show. We try to keep it, down so people 30 minutes or less. Sometimes it goes over. Did you want to share anything before, even if it's contact information, or just want to share something, just a closing remark?
So I just shared this, while I have been on your show before, I don't know what your experience is with all of your episodes, my followers, but I just hope that the people who do listen, who come across it intentionally or unintentionally, that something that we do or say will resonate within them. Because I just, I think that's just my life purpose, right? To be there for others in ways that I can. And if this platform is a way for others, I'm just excited that you asked me to be on this journey with you. So I'm excited about what happens from here, and I'm looking forward to the feedback, and I'm pretty funny too, so
I'm sure we'll have some funny episodes. I know that we laugh. I probably cry more than laugh, but we definitely laugh when we speak as well.
yeah.
So thank you for being a host. For you all listening, I just want you to know the comments expressed in the podcast are those of mine and Erica's, and so they're not intended to be used for professional guidance, even though both of us are in, the counseling fields or have been, because I'm currently not doing that. That's not the purpose of this. It's really just our thoughts and just trying to share and elevate, others through just our experiences. And so, if you're in need of any type of care, mental health care, or you're experiencing any trauma or in danger, please dial 911. In some areas in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, they have crisis teams. You can also dial 988. If you really need to speak to somebody to help you with any type of suicidal ideations or thoughts or whatever, mental health advocacy is really important to me, as I believe it is to you, Erica. And so just want to
Yeah,
make sure
yeah.
that you all know you have help. It's not that I don't want to help you, that's just not my field anymore, but I will share the information. You're going to hear a variety of different things coming up in this next season. I am going to be speaking more about trigger warning, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, molestation, rape. Definitely I'll continue to talk about mental health. And we are going to have an upcoming podcast. It celebrates 20 years of my first CD, which was Past to
Woohoo!
Present. So I'm excited about that. I was just like, wow, it's been
Yeah.
20 years. And just the journey, people still play the music. And, just in case if you didn't know, if you have a TikTok or you have a Facebook account or Instagram, you can use my songs, my poetry as one of the songs that you post, on your memes and your pictures and your videos. Please do, because that also helps me. And so if you also want to connect with me on either Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, please, it's at One Singing Lady, and that's the numeral one. If it's on YouTube, it's One Singing Lady spelled out. Sometimes we might do some lives. I've kind of chilled on that for a minute, but I hope that you all will do that. And please visit my website, www.lisalgilliam.com. I am still working to gain my voice back. Some of you all know that I lost my voice. I'm seeing a speech therapist or a pathologist to try to work on getting my voice stronger, and hopefully I'll be able to sing more. And we'll be 100% healed soon. But just stay tuned. If you go to the website, you can get information about when the next concert or show or etc. is. So we thank you for taking the time to listen, and we look forward to you listening to the next podcast. All right, you
Absolutely.
all have a good one. One Singing Lady and Erica Winkett out.
We out. Good night.